Hey, what's up, guys? Ricky here, another walk, and I've been thinking about this. I talked to Christine the other day about online business models, okay? From whether it be coaching, e-commerce, retail, building brands out, building software out, whatever it is, okay? To make as much wealth as possible, to become fucking a multimillionaire. And, you know, it's always easy to look at people's end results. Like say you look at someone like that she follows called Joyce Myers, who's been through the Mick and the muddle in her life, but you know, she now is a multimillionaire, speaks on stages, sells out her books and all that other stuff, runs a ministry. Then you got guys like, you know, say some of the big icons like Tony Robbins and, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk and other social media icons, or just motivational speaker icons, and how they, you know, sell out books and they get interviews. There's another guy that I watch a lot. It's called The Diary of a CEO, and it's a podcast. It's very successful. He had people like, you know, Kevin Larry on it. Who was the other guy that came on not too long ago? It was the one who owns MicroStrategy, the guy who owns all the Bitcoin, basically. And he does these, you know, 2-hour podcasts. Or like even look at Joe Rogan, you know, or you can cherry pick anybody that you want to follow their business model and say, that's what I want to be, that's how I want to do it. So it brought me to lead to, you know, knowing the models, but also explaining that you always have to build your audience first. You have to build your audience first in order to sell to that audience. So like in 2003, I learned from a guy, still a really good friend of mine. His name is Sean Casey. And he came out with a book called Mining Gold on the Internet. I printed that book out, 3-hole punched it, put it in a binder, read it religiously. Okay, I thought it was my like key to like millions of dollars, right? Which it could have been if I would have understood it a little bit better at that time. This is when I was just starting off in 2003 as an internet marketer. But like, you know, he always said, find a school of hungry fish and give them what they're already eating. So I was like, what are they eating? Where is this school of hungry fish? How do I find this school of hungry fish? How do I get in front of them? And at that time, I was really just starting out, so I didn't really understand if I had value. I didn't build any software at that point. I was just learning how to program. I wasn't successful in anything. You know, I watch these people sell ebooks online and make a bunch of money, and I'm like, I could do that. I come up with different ideas that really didn't pan out. But what I'm trying to get at here is build your audience first, and that is the key to creating your own school of hungry fish that are going to eat from you, and whatever you deliver to them, they're going to gobble it up, right? But then it led me to talking about something I taught my group in the P.O.W.E.R initiative. In the first phase of it was the consistency pyramid. So I don't have a whiteboard to show you this, but I want you to just imagine this. You're looking at a triangle on a piece of paper that, you know, represents a pyramid. And on the left side of the bottom of the triangle, so the left bottom, you have hustle. That's where you're starting at. Your desire, your hustle, your idea, whatever it is. At the top of the triangle, on top of the pyramid, at the point, you got C for consistency. And then on the right side, to the right bottom of the triangle, the pyramid, you got wealth. So I say a lot of people try to go from hustle directly to wealth. Like they try to shortcut it, go right through the pyramid, through the ground level, and just get that wealth, right? Some people actually do. They hit crypto on point, do 1,000x, 10,000x, right, on their money, like out of nowhere on a bull market, or you hit that lotto for a couple of mil, or whatever the case is. Unfortunately, most of those stories end up with them going back to broke and starting where they started, which was the hustle, the idea, the desire. Okay, so if you're climbing the pyramid, it's going to be tough. So you got that hustle, you're climbing the pyramid up to the top point. From the left, you're climbing up, and you're building momentum, and you're also building consistency. And as you build consistency, you build your audience. And as you're building your audience, you will start to get paid from that audience you're building as long as you're consistent. So once you get consistency in place, now going down the wealth is actually the easy part. You're not climbing uphill anymore, you're actually going downhill. And you're speeding towards wealth. That's now you're investing properly. Now you're, buying real estate. Now you're multiplying money. You're building businesses. I mean, you're buying businesses. You're flipping businesses. You have the consistency, the consistent money in place. So now you're building wealth. But the struggle really comes from going from the hustle, desire, idea point uphill to the consistency point. And it takes time. There's times when building your online business, you're not going to get paid at all. All right? So, I mean, it's all good and well if you work for somebody and they're paying you a salary or an hourly, money. You guarantee that money and you're building consistency in their business. They're paying for it. All right, but when you're doing it for yourself, whether that be a new software platform, a coaching business, influencing business, or automating YouTube or building up your audience and stuff like that, you got to show up. You got to be consistent, and that consistency will bring revenue to the point where now you see it's working and you can get towards wealth. Now, I had it in my business, okay? I started with the hustle, the desire, the ideas, all right? And I had the drive to do it. So I'm going up the mountain, I'm going up the pyramid, and I'm building consistency. I hired the employees, okay? Things are being sold every single day. Software's growing and blah, 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 blah. But on the road to consistency, there will be, downfalls. That could be anything from addictions to bad relationships, whether that be personal or business, money got yous, everything along the way is trying to knock you off the side of the pyramid. So what I'm saying is that it's always easy to look at the end result of someone that already built the momentum and consistency. And at the end of the day, now they're wealthy and they're thriving with wealth and they're doing whatever the fuck they want. So now they can go do coaching, they could do podcasts, they could do whatever and know that their business is supporting their lifestyle because the consistency is in place and the wealth, remember I said, is going from the top where you have consistency down, you're not climbing anymore. So it's always good and well to look at other people's business models, but just don't get too infatuated with the end result of what they got, because that took the countless hours, the sleepless nights, the sleeping on your floor in your office, the working in the garage, the staying up for 18 hours, to build that consistency. So that should be your goal, especially if you're starting out. If you're starting out, you shouldn't be looking at wealth immediately. Some people just want to start out and go to wealth. You got to go to consistency. So consistency should be your fucking idol. That sea at the top of the mountain should be your idol, right? And that's what you should be thriving for, that consistency. I'm not saying that's going to be easy, but I'm saying that once you do have that in place, getting to wealth is a lot easier. I hope that helps.